guys, welcome back to the Keeping It Real Estate Show with your hosts, Justin and Brandy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the little notification bell so you never miss an episode again. This is part 2 of our part 2 series. Last week we explained investments and different types of investments. This week we're going to show you our multi-residential spreadsheet and how we calculate.
Yeah, basically how we look at these investments, for sure. We're actually going to use a couple of properties that are live. They are active on the market, so we can show real world examples instead of talking hypotheticals. So we picked 2 different areas. By the time this video airs, one of them will be sold for sure. The other one might still be available because it's been up for a little while, but we're going to show how even that can be a profitable investment.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, if you're new to investing, you haven't done it before, you might have heard the term cap rate and what that is. So cap rate is basically your percentage return per year on your investment. So, usually it's between, 2% to 10%. It all depends on the cash flow. Good areas tend to have a lower cap rate. You get a lower percent return per year just because it's less maintenance or the house is in a better neighborhood. If it's in a different neighborhood or higher risk investment, then you'll get a cap rate that's, you generally want one that's higher, around the 8%. Like a student rental cap rate would be a lot higher than just a residential house. So part of the reason we wanted to break this down is to show that so many people focus on these cap rates, whereas a lot of the times it's not a great indicator because you actually make money 3 ways on a property. You don't just make it on the monthly income. You make it on the increase in the price over time, and you make it from the principal being paid down off the mortgage.
Yeah, cap rate is very short term, and today we just want to show you what your long-term investment could look like, even if you don't have a positive cash flow. For
sure. So let's dive in. We're gonna switch over to the laptop and to go into the screen here. Just a heads up, if you're listening to us today, we're gonna try to say even numbers just so it's a little bit easier to follow along, but you may wanna go to the YouTube channel and watch it on YouTube because it'll give you a better picture. And then be sure to subscribe while you're there.
Yeah.
And hit that little bell.
We have our map here too, so it's easier to picture where we're talking about.
That's it. So let's dive in. So here's Hamilton. To give you an idea where these properties are, the first one that we're going to do is in the St. Clair neighborhood. So near Gage Park, we're central Hamilton, just below the mountain. This is the escarpment here. The second property we're going to do is a little more north in the Barton and Wentworth area.
A little more overlooked area, but
I like it. Like I said, we did a flip there last year, actually, me and Matt. And great area, beautiful homes, just older homes, right? But yeah, where St. Clair, you tend to get a lot more of that stately home. If you've never actually, if you live in Hamilton, you're coming to Hamilton, and you've never driven down St. Clair Boulevard, you should do it. It's a super cool street. I love it. Anytime in the area, sometimes I just go, I like to drive down it if I can.
Those are my favorite. Those are the Victorian.
Those are yours,
the high ceilings.
See? Yeah. I like on the Stony Creek Mountain. Everybody knows. All right, so let's start with the first property. So the first property is a triplex in the St. Clair neighborhood. Well-maintained, great tenants, great rents, currently listed for $870,000. So they're holding offers on this, so that's not the realistic price. I mean, it's going to go for higher, but we're going to show you how this cash flows, and then we're going to show you what we think it's going to, or what you could pay for it to make sense. So,
okay, so typically when you're investing, and if you saw our last episode, you would understand that you're looking at least 20% down, usually more. Your interest rate for investments, depending on whether you're going with an A or a B lender, you're anywhere from the 2 to 4%. If you're with a B lender, you're probably looking at the 4% mark. So if you got the property at what it was listed today, your monthly payment for the mortgage, you're looking around $2,930.
And that's with 20% down, so you're $173,000 down. Yeah. Land transfer tax is about $14,000, legal fees another $2,000. So you're looking at about $190,000 into this just to get the property.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll start to break down the financials for this property. When you're looking at investment properties, we can always access these performas or these financial sheets for you. They don't post them on realtor.ca, but in our back realtor portal, a lot of times they'll be loaded as an attachment for us to download. So if you have questions about a property, we're more than happy to pull these sheets for you. But let's start off with this one. So your monthly rental income, $5,400 a month almost. That's great rent for a triplex. That's how it's in a good area.
So
Those are very strong rents.
That's rent from 3 units. That's not 1 unit. But.
Then we take into consideration the vacancy rate. So essentially the vacancy rate is a percentage of the time that a unit may be vacant. This changes from every city. Like Niagara Falls, it's 1.9. They have less vacancy there. Some other places, it's above 3 or 4. 2.8 is Hamilton's. So we just apply that. It brings you down to, on average, $5,200 a month you make. Right? And so that's just accounting for times that your unit may be vacant.
Yeah. And then you have your monthly expenses. So the very standard property tax, property insurance, gas, hydro, water, and don't forget if you're at a condo, you have condo fees. For this one and what they provided, we're sitting around $1,065.17. That'll bring your monthly mortgage payment to $2,930. Your total expenses is $3,996.
So about $4,000. So your
About
total
4,000.
expenses are $4,000. Your income is $5,400. Your expenses are $4,000. So your cash flow is $1,250 a month.
Yeah, and
Right.
for anyone who does care about the cap rate, it's 5.7%.
Which is good. I think 5 is good. If you can get anything from like 5 to 8,
Yeah.
I think anything over 5, you're laughing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So 12, you're making $1,200 a month. But let's look at the long term, because this is really an overlooked part of where the value comes from. Like, yeah, the $1,200 a month is great, but let's focus on the long term picture. So whenever I look at investment for myself, I like to look at a minimum 5 year down the road. I want to see where we're going to be in 5 years, and I like to use a conservative rate. So if we say that the market went up 5% every year for 5 years, which is conservative because the last 5 years it's been on average 9% a year. So if we do 5% a year, the price will have gone up, the value of the home will have gone up $240,000. So that's money you're gonna get back when you go to sell in 5 years. The principal will be paid down $77,000, right? Like that's big. That's somebody else paying down your mortgage for you. Essentially, like, to think of how crazy this is with real estate, I always compare it to, it's like you went to the bank, you got a loan, you bought stocks with it, and then you picked somebody and said, okay, you pay for my loan, right? And, like, it's kind of crazy to think of it that way. So they're actually going to pay down that principal. They're paying down principal and interest, but we just factor in the principal because that's actually money going into your pocket. The interest is going to the bank. And then we look at the monthly revenue. So that $1,200 a month turns into about $75,000 over 5 years.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a total gain in 5 years of $366,000. That's a 38% return on your money.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Were you
Your
getting
TSFA,
on
yeah.
average, 38? Yeah, you're right, 38% per year on your money. It's a 200% return over 5, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Where are you getting that?
I've had devil's advocate say, still you have your expenses, all that stuff after, but you're still.
Yeah, even if the market goes up 3%, you're still making 27% on your money. You're making $250,000.
Yeah.
If the market only goes up 3%, right? Like, it's crazy. So then when you go to sell, you cash everything out, you get your initial deposit back plus all the money you've made. That's $540,000. That's wild.
Yeah, so I also wanted Justin to show you guys what if cash flow was negative. So if you want to scroll over.
Okay, so we'll change it. So yeah, let's say that we want to pay, say we end up paying $1,250,000 for this.
So we went into a bid and you had to well overpay for the house.
So now we're losing $37 a month. That's what it's costing us.
Yeah, nothing else changed at this point.
Yeah, our monthly income has just gone from the $1,200 to now out of pocket, we're paying $37 a month. Let's look at the returns in 5 years. So in 5 years, it's cost you basically $2,200.
Yeah.
The increase from equity, you're still getting your market increase. So because you paid a higher price, the market's going higher, you're making $345,000 over 5 years. And then you're having $110,000 in principal paid down. So you make $420,000 in 5 years. And all it costs you is $2,200.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's focused on this monthly cash flow which obviously is great. I'm not saying go crazy the other way, but I mean, if like $37 a month, just skip Timmy's in the morning, or you know what I mean? At the end of the day, let's be realistic. You can, if you're buying an investment property, odds are you can afford $37 a
Yeah,
month.
but that's a coffee. That's a coffee a day.
That's not where you drink
Not a
coffee.
Starbucks coffee.
Maybe where I drink coffee, yeah. But you're still getting a 30% return. Like, think about that. When you go to cash this thing out, that's $670,000. Like, obviously, you're going to have to pay taxes on that. You're going to have some closing costs on that end. But still, $670,000. And that's in 5 years, right? Like, imagine, I like to go in with this long-term plan. In 25 years, like, we look over at 30 years, because we did a 30-year amortization. In 30 years, it's $5 million. I mean, obviously, that would mean the property would have gone up $4 million, but in 30 years from now, who knows, right? Like, these same houses that are going for 1.2 now, 30 years ago, were trading for under 100,000.
Exactly.
So now they've gone up 10 times almost.
Yeah, and don't forget, this house is in a really desirable area. So do we think it's going to go over? Maybe, probably, but that's why we have another example for you. So let's show you our area that sits around Barton. Really overlooked area, but they still have a positive cash flow.
And they're 1.2 million. It's been listed for quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
It's just been sitting. The good thing with this, we're going to show how it cash flows at 1.2, but a thing like this property, this is a 4-unit, there's room to go in there and negotiate the price down to give you an even better monthly cash flow. But let's run it the same way. 20% down, $240,000. We're going to use a 3% interest rate, amortized over 30 years. Brings your mortgage to about $4,000. Sorry, there it is, $4,000 a month. So $4,000 a month, you think, wow, that's crazy. I have a mortgage, you're making mortgage payments $4K a month.
Yeah.
But the income on this thing is $5,745 a month.
Yeah.
$5,700 a month it's making in revenue.
I think there's only one vacant unit in this one right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was previously rented for $1,750, I think. But yeah, but this is based on that unit being rented.
Yeah.
Your expenses, including the mortgage every month, are $5,500. So you're only making $76 a month cash flow.
But you're still making $76 a month.
I know. But some people look at it and they think, $76. That's not a lot of money. Like, I'm putting a lot of money out to only collect $76.
And a cap rate of 4. So if you're looking at your short term, a lot of people right away are going to overlook this. Yeah,
for sure. 70, you're going to think, what am I going to do with it? But let's look at the big numbers, okay? 5 years down the road, you're $76 a month. You're going to make $330 in equity from the price increase. $106,000 is going to be paid down, plus your $4,600 over 5 years you collected, your $76 a month. That's $400,000, $414,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then when you sell to get your deposit back, $650K.
There you go.
In 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? That's over $100K a year. So, and that's a 31% per year return on average.
So if you're like, Justin, Brandy, how am I going to come up with that down payment?
It is, right?
Have you been sitting on your house for 5-6 years?
Yeah.
You have tons of equity.
You do. I mean, to come up with $263,000 guaranteed, if you've been in there for a few years, for some people, if you've been in your house for a year, you might have that equity.
Yeah, here's another worst case scenario. Not even worst case. You had to go with a B lender. So if Justin changed the interest rate to 4%.
So generally, I'll change the interest rate to 4. Also with a B lender, you're probably going to have to put at least 25% down. So you have to come up with a lot more money, 323, but that's where we're going to start to see a negative cash flow. But worst case, $172 a month.
So you're spending $172 a month.
Yeah. Have you gone out to a restaurant this month? That's me and my wife go out. You get a bottle of wine, an app, a couple, mains.
That's
$170.
2 of my gym memberships. That's it.
Yeah. 2 of your gym.
That's yoga and Good Life. Really.
There you go. Yeah. So, I mean, it's costing you $172, but let's look over and see. You're still making $378,000 because your property's still going up in value. Your principal is still getting paid down by somebody else. Yeah, you're out of pocket $10K over 5 years. It's a couple thousand a year. But look at that. You're still making a 23% return.
Yeah.
When you go to cash out, you're still making $678,000 on an initial investment. Yeah, 323. That's crazy though. To think. And then, when we look down the 25, 30-year mark, these numbers get really big. In 10 years, you're over $1 million on your return.
And look at 30 years. So if you made $5 million in 30 years.
Which it's, for me, I always think that's insane, $5 million. But, I mean, who knows?
So
that's at 5% a year the market increases.
What if you refinanced every 5 years, and then you had 5 of these?
You
that
could.
was $5 million each.
Yeah, every 5 years, pull some money out, get another one,
Retirement,
get
you're
another one.
laughing.
Yeah, and then if you even just buy one, hang on to it for 5 years. I mean, we're also basing the monthly revenue, like you're losing $170 a month. We're basing that on you not increasing rents in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing a single increase.
Yeah.
You're not having a tenant leave,
No
renting it for
one's
higher,
moved, yeah.
right? Like if you increase the rent by the average rent increase, by year 2 or year 3, I think you'll actually be cash flowing positively once the rents go up. So, I mean, it's
The thing too for Hamilton is rent is scarce. So many renters out there that need places. We're in a rental shortage, so
huge shortage. So this is kind of just a breakdown to show you guys, like even though sometimes you're focused on, okay, how much am I going to make a month? How much am I going to make a month passive income? You might not be focusing on the income you're making, but not necessarily seeing every day. Like that, every month that mortgage gets paid, that's money in your pocket, even though you don't have access to it right away. The market goes up every year, 5%, that's money in your pocket.
if it takes you $170 to make a mortgage payment of your own pocket,
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer, Adam.
And I mean, you know, partner with somebody, maybe look at getting the equity. Like that's why we always say, like a lot of people are refinancing right now, the equity out of their homes to purchase investment. This is what they're doing with it. This is what they're turning it into. Like you can leave it in your house and yeah, you'll make money on your primary, but to have another property and have somebody else pay it off is, you know, it's a really good opportunity to sort of get in. And that's what I like multi-residential, because if you have 3 units or 4 units, we spoke about it last week, one unit
100%.
may be vacant, but you still have the other ones covering your expenses.
Yeah.
Like a worst case scenario is a tenant leaves and you have to eat a month's rent from one of the units.
Yeah,
Worst case, right? But then you rent it out, you get it back on track.
yeah.
So that's it. Okay, you want to break down?
Yeah, so I
refinance
just
in
wanted
5 years.
Justin to break down, because I get this question a lot. How much will the bank let you refinance in 5 years?
In 5 years, okay. So let's go back to our scenario of 3% interest rate with 20% down. So in 5 years, if you want to refinance it, okay. So $960 was our original mortgage payment. So we paid down 60 months at $4,000. One sec, guys. I'm just going to do a quick calculation here. Times 60. So 242 essentially. 242,000 was paid off of your mortgage. So the equity went up. So we're going to add the 331, which the 331 is the equity from the price increase. The property went up $331,000. We're going to add those numbers. Okay, so we paid 1.2 plus the 331. So that's going to be plus the 331 is 1,531,000. 531. So 1.5 million is what you paid. When you go to refinance, the bank's going to want to leave 20% in the house. So if we take 20%,
So you get 80%.
yeah, you get 80%. Oh, sorry. Times 8. So the refinanceable amount is 1,224. That's the amount that you can refinance.
So you
off
can
of that.
refinance $1 million.
And then we have to look at
224,000.
we have to look at the difference from what you owe on the mortgage. So it was 960 was your mortgage amount. You subtract the 242. So you subtract, this was your original mortgage. This is what's been paid down in principal and interest is 242 over 5 years. We subtract it from 124, and that leaves us 718 is the amount that you can pull out
Right,
while leaving 20% in the property.
right.
So you don't even have to pull that all out. You want to buy another property, you get another couple $100K. You only have to take 200,000 out,
Or
but you could have access
take it out and buy
to.
two.
You could take it out and buy 2. That's it. You're on the roll, eh? In 5, just push it,
Yeah.
right? Or you take that money, refinance it, pay off your primary residence,
Yeah.
because the interest on the investment property can be written off. So you get the advantages, like you get that tax advantage.
That's so true.
Plus, you can wipe out your mortgage payment, and you have somebody else paying down that new debt. Like
Yeah.
you're not paying it; somebody else is paying it.
The thing is, all it takes is one. Once you get one, and you get the ball rolling.
The door's open from there. Yeah. So if you were listening to this, I hope it was okay following along. I hope it wasn't too confusing. It may have been. You might want to pop over to the YouTube channel where we do this spreadsheet breakdown. If you guys have any questions, you want financials on properties, you're interested in getting into multi-res but don't really know where to start or what to do, more than happy to go over it with you guys. This is a spreadsheet we created ourselves, so we do this to run through properties pretty quick. Like we can tell pretty much out of the gate if it's going to be cash flow positive, cash flow negative. We want to pick ones that were positive today, but I think it's super cool. I hope this was informative. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want more videos breaking down investments like that, just let us know.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell on YouTube. We're so happy that you joined us this week, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
See you later.